Unity of the Huachucas presents Susan Smith, LUT.
Shine brightly.
Let's just take those words into our hearts. Just if it's comfortable for you, just close your eyes. If you'd like, just ground yourself maybe with a deep breath, or maybe just ground your feet. Just feel yourself grounded in this here moment. And we begin with a prayer. We know that there's one power, one presence, all power, and all wisdom without opposite. Each one of us is enveloped in the faith, peace, love, and joy of the Christ that surrounds all, that is within all. This is a light that shines within each one of us. Remember the light each one of us is. I know that we know this, and we will receive and give all the wisdom, kindness, and love that is ours to share today. I am surrounded by the light of joy. I am the light of joy. I shine brightly. Say those words to yourself. I shine brightly. And so it is. Amen.
There is a candle that never slow, some brightly burning.
Okay, all right, so today's topic is shine brightly. And it's not just because I'm wearing this, that's why I'm wearing them all sparkly. It's not just about that. That's not why I'm the example of shining brightly, sparkly on the outside.
Yes, you are.
So, you know, we're just finishing up the Christmas season, and this is just going to top off the Christmas season. We're having a little extra season Christmas service. And part of my message today actually is that just Christmas is all year round, the message of Christmas and what we teach in Christmas. We just have this fun little time of year where we really focus on certain things, but it's just really what we teach all year round. You know, so it's always good to have a Christmas talk, and we could be doing this anytime.
Yep.
So we're going through Christmas season. We're pretty much kind of ending it. We've got New Year's Day coming up. And I was with a friend recently, my friend Mike up in Phoenix, and he had a rough year and just had a real setback in health. And Mike we used to call him Mr. Griswold because he loves Christmas and he would put so many Christmas lights up. And he's like, oh, Susan, I can't do it this year. You know, he was really disappointed. And I'm like, well, you know, Mike, sometimes Christmas just, you know, you just have kind of hard Christmases. Sometimes it's just kind of, you know, you just got to do what you do. And I think it's so easy to kind of feel the joy when we're happy. But joy, Christmas joy, and any kind of joy, it really is not about the circumstances we find us in. And happiness does not equate joy. It might be easier to feel joyful when we're happy, but joy is actually a spiritual principle. It's a spiritual feeling. And to me, joy is when we marry our 100% divine, which we know we are, and we also know are 100% human. And we put those together, and we can feel that joy of knowing the truth, regardless. And it's all about our consciousness. It's about the choices we make with our experiences. And the Bible quote I had to say is, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad of it." This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad of it. Well, you know what Lord is, metaphysically, according to the real revealing word? The Lord is the activity of the spiritual I am as a ruling consciousness. So it's the ruler, it's the I am. And the Lord means I'm saying, hey, today, whatever's happening, today is the day I am made. Let us rejoice and be glad of it. I choose what I see, what I focus on, how I think about this. And we do it with each other. And when we do that, when we marry our 100% divine, our 100% spiritual, and our 100% human, and we just go, we know this. And we know that we have all we need to handle it. We know that we are equipped to do the next step, that we can shine brightly. That to me is expressing joy. So when I say shine brightly, I'm really saying express joy, be joy, to know joy in that moment. So you're going to be hearing me use that phrase, and that's what I mean. So today I'm going to cover three things this morning. I'm going to cover I'm going to call this the Advent Journey to Joy. The Advent Journey to Joy. Bringing all four aspects of, the three aspects of Advent in, and then how that leads us to joy. And we could also, because this is the Advent journey to shine brightly. And then I'm going to talk about the journey to joy amidst darkness. What does that look like? How do we take the same journey when those circumstances are difficult? Because we all face challenges in our lives. That's just part of the human experience. And we don't deny that here. We don't pretend it. Joy is not pretending that difficult things aren't happening. It's allowing ourselves to know and rest on our faith and understanding. And then finally, I'm going to talk about the call to be joy, the call to shine brightly. And I think that last song kind of exemplified that very nicely. You guys always do such a good job with your music. So first I want to give a shout out to Reverend Deanne Ware-Morency. She's the minister of Unity in Marin. I always try to listen to things and get ideas, and frankly, I've just been listening to too many documentaries that are a bit depressing. I'm like, okay, I gotta uplift myself. I'm telling you all to pay attention to what you're harmonizing with, and I'm like, I like to learn about the world, but this is getting a little dark. So I thought, well, I'll listen to this talk she gave It's on YouTube about joy, and it was her Advent talk about joy a couple weeks ago. And she was the one who introduced this whole idea of Advent and how it kind of builds upon itself. And I know I'd heard this before, but I really hadn't thought about it that much. And how joy is really the result of really immersing ourselves in the journey of Advent. And it's a journey that it doesn't have a beginning and an end, right? You can start at faith, or might have called it hope here. You might find peace and go to joy. It might be love to joy. You can kind of jump around, right? But it really is the foundation, and it's a tool we can use for the journey to joy, the journey to shine brightly. So I'm going to talk about how I see this as the steps go. So first of all, our first Advent is usually faith. I think you also do hope or faith. Hope is it's what we believe in, right? So I've learned always faith is how I learned it, but it doesn't really matter. It's how we believe. And we've talked about that with our affirmations. And this is what we teach. Now, what you believe is what you believe. But if the more you confound yourself and remind yourself that there's one power, one presence, all power, all knowing, all wisdom, all presence everywhere. It's within us, within you, everyone, everything. It's ever present. And that means it's in you. You are never alone. You always know what you need to do. And if you don't know for some reason, there's always the step before you that you know to take to ask for help. So we ground ourselves in faith first. That's that first step. It's always grounding in faith. And that's what it is. It's like I'm on solid ground. Regardless of what might be happening. Might be really happy. It might be something that's difficult. I'm on solid ground, always. So that's where faith leads us, right? And then once we know that, what does that lead us to but peace? What comes from faith but the assurance that everything's all right regardless of how it appears in the other? The assurance that I know what to do next. That light, the light within me, which is my divinity, is going to shine, and I'm going to have the wisdom to know, okay, I know what to do next. And that, to me, peace is about letting go. Letting go of expectations. Letting go of it needing things to be a certain way. What is more peaceful than just letting it go, right? And as humans, I don't know about you guys, but I like to have my own way. I like it. I like to have my own way. But this is, again, it's where my humanity meets my divinity. I still like to have my own way, but I get a lot of peace when I go, no, you know what? It's not I, but the Christ inside that goes forward. And this Christ is lit from within and lit from without. All of you are the light shining back at me, and I'm shining my light towards you. That's how it works. So then, that leads us to love. How can we not feel love after just feeling so peaceful? Love, having our faith affirmed, affirming our faith, affirming our peace. And then we're just open to the love. That was the good news that the shepherds received. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. That's for each and every one of them. They were lowly shepherds in a field. Lowly shepherds. It's for each and every one of us. You don't have to question or doubt your inherent worth and value. I don't know what you thought or did a minute, an hour, a day, a year ago. I don't care. I know the truth of you right here, right now. So it's a journey, right? Because we have to keep reminding ourselves and helping other people remind us. But we can feel that love. And then we can feel that unconditional love, and then it shines forth and we see it in other people. So love, and we just can harmonize what we want more of. So love, and then, well, what happens after that? We go through all of that. I think joy is a natural reaction, right? The joy coming from knowing the truth of who we are. The joy of knowing our divinity. The joy of knowing the light is within me, the light surrounds me, the light is reflected in all I meet. Whether they know it or not doesn't matter. So that is what I'm calling the Advent journey to shining brightly, or the Advent journey to joy. So what is the next thing? So the next thing is the journey to joy, the journey to shine brightly amidst darkness. You know, because sometimes things are hard. For Mikey had a hard year this year. I went up and visited with him, and I tried to make his light a little, that's what I could do. You know, I'm not going to go do his lights or, you know, any of that. That's okay. I wasn't called to do that. But I could sit with him and enjoy his time with him and give his son a break. And there were things I could do. And we can all help each other out. But sometimes there's just darkness. And when I was preparing this talk, I really wasn't planning on talking about this. But I know many of you know that, 13 years ago, I went through a very difficult period in my life. And yet I still call it a joyful season. And I went through a period between Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving and New Year, where I was a primary caretaker to my final two family members, immediate family members. And they both ended up getting diagnosed with terminal illnesses and dying, going into hospice and dying. So it was obviously a very intense period. And I still call it my season of joy, a joyful season of sorrow is what I call it. And when I was thinking about this topic in particular, I was starting to really, I knew what I wanted to talk about. I'm like, okay, really, what stories? What do I want to share? What do I want to demonstrate? And I realized that it was almost 13 years to the day. I'm pretty sure it was probably 13 years to the day when I was really getting this written down, that I had the darkest time during this period. And what had happened, my sister Sandy passed away on Christmas Eve. And I just knew, and I just believe in our timeless connection, and I just believe that, so that helps me. It was still very painful, but it helps me. And then my mom had moved into hospice at that point, and then I could just concentrate on my mom, and I was grateful for that. And they had made me move my mom into hospice because they knew I had my sister there, and I was the caregiver. They were very kind, such kind people at TMC Hospice. And so my mom was in hospice, and they're talking about sending her home. And that's what my mom wanted more than anything. Oh, she wanted to go home so bad. She wanted to go home. And I wanted her to be home. And I knew it was her wish to be home when she passed on to the next stage of being. That was her wish. And my wish for this woman who had taken care of my dad and my aunts and was always there for me and all my sisters, and how many countless nights she stayed awake taking care of us, how many meals she took, I can't even count the love this person put into the world, with not getting as much back, in my opinion, as she probably deserved. And I knew, always in my heart, I would take care of her at this point. But it was dark for me. And it was dark because I had doubt. There was that faith piece missing, right? And this was my 100% humanness. My mom had ended up in the hospital because she fell down when I wasn't home because I was taking care of my sister in the hospital. And I just thought of getting her home again. And losing these caregivers who were professional, who knew what they were doing, who were so loving and kind, scared me. I was just scared. That was just and I'm like, and it had been a bit of a road. It had been a road, and I had a friend who came and stayed with me, so that was very helpful, and other people helping. I wasn't alone in the world of form, but I was scared, And I'm like, and I'm like, gosh, this is terrible, but I just kind of want this to end now. Like really dark. So I went to, and I have to say, as far as, so that Advent path to joy, right? So how did I do that? So faith. I would say my faith was just underlying through this whole experience. I just kept turning back to it and going back to it. They had a beautiful chapel at the hospital, at the TMC hospice. I would write prayers. I would do all sorts of things. I just spent, and there's music, and I had people praying for me. I had so much, prayer was just a part of my life. I was all prayed up, or pre-prayed, as I like to say, pre-prayed. So that helped. But on that day, I'm like, okay, something within me is like, okay, you need to get out of this environment, and you just need to go to the park. And so I ended up going to Fort Lowell Park, which is right across the street there. And I'm like, okay, you just need a different environment. And I just knew that that's where I could find some peace, right? It was a quiet place. And so I reaffirmed my faith, but that human doubt was pretty loud at this point. My faith that I knew that I could do the next thing, and that I was like going to be able to take care of her, and I'm not alone, and all I needed to do was one step and then another step, and maybe that step is breathe. Maybe that step is breathe. Maybe that step is call a friend. Maybe that step is just go to the bathroom, right? That step for me at that time was go to the park. So I was following my faith, and I was sitting at the park, and it was so peaceful and so beautiful. And you know what happened there was I just was able to cry. I just cried and cried. Not a big crier. I'm not a big criers in my family. But I cried. And I just like, okay, you know, I just have to be honest. This is what's going on. I didn't say anything to my mom because she was not really in a position to be able to talk about these things. And I knew I wanted to be strong and be there for her. But I just needed to let it go. So I'm just like, okay. And you know what that was? That was the piece of release. Okay, this is not how anyone would want this. And this fear is just something that's just a very natural occurrence after what's happened. You feel this, but you know what? You're not alone. You're not alone. You do know what to do next. So that peace filled me. So what's the next step? Love. So I'm sitting at this lake. And one of the reasons I like lakes, you can watch the ducks. And the ducks for me are like a symbol. I know this is a symbol of faith. One time I was in Sabino Canyon, and I was watching this mama duck, and she had 3 little ducks like walking behind her along the road. And the area where they were at, the water was out. And so she was walking up to the water. And I was so worried about this mama duck and these 2 little ducklings. But she never looked back. She never looked back. She knew those ducklings were following her. And I'm like, well, I wonder if they need help, and are they going to find water? And, you know, I'm all human about it, right? And I'm like, no, it's okay. They're ducks. You know, they know what they're doing. And when I came back, I saw that mama duck and those 3 ducks. I'm like, wow, what a demonstration of faith. You know, and that's just inbred in them, right? But that's in us, too. We can find that for ourselves. So ducks, for me, are kind of cool animals. And I'm like, oh, it was fun to watch the ducks and the baby ducks. And then I see... I'm going to say, I'm not sure, but it was a man and a boy, and I'm just going to assume it was a father and a son. I don't know, but let's just say, for me, the story was, it was a father and a little boy, probably about 3 years old. And they were feeding the ducks. And I just felt love flood through me. Because my mom used to take us to feed the ducks. And that unconditional, don't need to do anything to deserve it love. I felt it. And then I just knew, okay, my mom loves me, and I'm not in this alone. She's in this with me. And we've got our love, and I just felt the love. And I knew I could do this. I knew I could do this for her. It strengthened me. That love strengthened me. And then that's where it just ended with joy. That's where it was. And I'm not saying I totally let go of all my fear at that moment, but I joyfully went back. And I joyfully did what I need to do to get my mom home. So that's how we do it in the darkness. We look for it. We look for those signs. We might ask for help. I have lots of people praying for me, I assure you. I had people I could call. I knew I wasn't alone. I knew the next step would be lit up for me. It's all I needed to do. It's all I needed. So I chose to answer the call. The call to be joy. The call to shine brightly. So did my mom, by the way. Because it's a very sacred process to be there with someone through this. So that's the last thing I was answering the call. Answering the call to shine brightly. Answering the call to be joy. And I believe that's what we're all here for. And this was the Christmas book we studied. And like I said, Christmas every day, people. So it doesn't matter. But this was the Angels of Christmas. And this was the book we were looking at during this Advent season. And it's by Susan Robb. And I just love this quote from her book. She said, "We radiate light that cannot be contained, like the light from a city on a hill. And in the process, we spread light that helps others make their way in this world. That, my friends, is what Christmas is all about." Let me read that again. We radiate light that cannot be contained. You can't contain it if you wanted to. Like the light from a city on a hill. And in the process, we spread light that helps others make their way in this world. I see you all doing that with me right now with each other. So beautiful. That, my friends, is what Christmas is all about. I would say that's what, my friends, is what life is all about. That's what we're here for. Every day is, I wish every day was Christmas. It can be when we shine brightly. So I chose that time, that darkness, to just keep going in faith. And I had so much support. And I just say, we're not alone in this. You know, my mom was incredible. And not everybody's able to go through these things with that kind of dignity and that kind of ease and grace. And I have nothing but compassion for however any of us have to get through things. But I was just really fortunate that my mom would just, I remember at one point in hospice, somebody came in to help her, and she's like, oh, look at my beautiful daughter. My mom didn't say things like that, okay? She loved me, but we were not the lovey-dovey talking, anything like that. I never heard her say anything like that in my entire life. And it was just, wow, like my mom really sees me. And she really appreciates my being here with her. And then, you know, when we got home, I put up the Christmas lights. When I was able to do the inside and the outside, I actually had somebody help do the outside, and that was in honor of my dad. That's another story. So when we got home, I turned the lights on, and then my mom was just loved the lights. I'm like, well, Mom's getting near, you know, New Year's. I know you like us to take them down by New Year's. She was a kind of stickler on us, like, oh, can't we keep them up a little longer? Can't we keep them up a little longer? So uncharacteristic. It's like, oh my gosh, I love it, you know. And she did make me laugh at one point. She bought these little mitten lights at a garage sale of a friend of hers, and I hadn't plugged them in, so they didn't light. And she's like, well, why aren't those lit up? And I go, oh, Mom, I just have to, you know, plug them in. She's like, oh, I thought I was ripped off. So we got to have some humor and levity. That was so funny when she said that. So we were in it together, right? We were in it together, and I took my keys from her. But also the people from hospice were there. You know, before I left, I just asked them, you know, help me take care of my mom. And they were so patient. Not only did they show me what I needed to do, they answered all my questions. They wanted to make sure I was comfortable. And then there were people on call. And I assure you, I called them many times that New Year's Eve. She passed away on New Year's Day. A lot. And then someone came. They came to my home. But not only did they come to my home, they came shining brightly. So loving, so kind, and just saw my mom. You know, they didn't just see someone going through something, they saw her. They saw the light that was her. They saw the light was me. I saw their light. Talk about sharing love. And of course I had friends that helped and people came by. So many things. So, you know, that's how we can help each other. It's our job, you know. And so I'm going to encourage you as you go into this new year, and as, you know, as the lights of Christmas start to fade, just remember the most important light is the light within. Amen. You know, and that you, if you can't feel that light, if you can't access that, you know, that journey to joy, to remember the light of who you are, you know, someone else can remember for you. You know, and just, if you can remember, just shine brightly. Shine brightly for yourself. And know that you are worthy and valuable. You know, that is the good news. You don't have to do anything. It is unconditional. 100%. I see you as 100% human, 100% divine, showing up right now. No exceptions. Absolutely none. So you give that for yourself. Then you can share it and shine a light on someone else so they can do what is theirs to do as we shine brightly. And then when our light feels dim, we reach out and we help each other. You know, a candle can just light, you know, infinite candles. That's really what we have within ourselves. So that's what I'm going to encourage you. And I'm going to say, and in light of shining brightly, I did write a book about my experiences that I finally got published. So I'm going to give you a copy. And if you are interested in buying it, you can let me know, and I can give you the information. But I'll leave a copy here in it's called A Joyful Season of Sorrow. And that's, it's hard. I don't like to toot my own horn, but that's part of shining brightly too. This is a story I want to share with others, and that's what we're here for. So I want to encourage all of you to just remember the light that you are. Remember how it feels to be in this group of people when you go out in the world and maybe people just have forgotten or don't even recognize it. I have to say that Christmas, that man and that little boy at the park, he didn't know the very best Christmas present he probably gave his entire life was his presence there that day. What are we doing for other people? We have no idea. When we're sharing love and being the light, truly the best present I ever got. Because it just reminded me of that timeless love which I share with my mom and I share with everyone who has the great opportunity and gift of unconditional love between a parent and a child, between anyone. That's what I saw there. And it lit my way forward. So just shine brightly, everybody. And I'm going to end with a meditation for us to kind of reflect on this. Okay, so if it's comfortable for you, I encourage you to just close your eyes or soften them and ground yourself in the way that's comfortable. It might be a nice breath in. It might be just putting your feet on the ground or maybe on your hand on your chest. Whatever that looks like for you, because we're all unique, divine human beings here. At this point, gently release any thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that limit you. Just brush them off gently. Right here and now is a time apart from worries and concerns about the world of form, the world of to do and to be. Right here and now is a time to remember the light which is within each one of us. The light shines regardless of whether you recognize it or not. The light surrounds all things. The light assures you of your inherent value and worth. The light represents your divinity. It is, you are. Right here and now, remember, I am divine. I am the light. I shine brightly. See those birds in your heart. I am divine. I am the light. I shine brightly. The light flows through you and allows you to know the peace that passes understanding. The light is calming. The light burns steady, and within its presence you feel tranquil and at ease. I am divine. I am the light. I shine brightly. The light shines brightly and illuminates the unconditional love which is always available to you. The light shines within you and illuminates kindness, compassion, and care. This light shines and you feel the love that encompasses and the love that it represents shining through you. I am divine. I am the light. I shine brightly. I am faith. I am peace. I am love. I am joy. Knowing my divinity, my divine light, I know I am equipped to do what is mine to do, to make the world a better place for me and others too. Knowing my divinity, my divine light, I know that I know each next step I am to take as it is illuminated for me, and I take action with ease and grace. Knowing my divinity, my divine light, I know how to illuminate and shine a light so others recognize their own light too. I am divine. I am the light. I shine brightly. Rest in that for just another 30 seconds. And within your head, just I am divine. I am the light. I shine